Hi, this is Swan with Swan Amity Studios, and we are back stitching out more of our decorative stitches on our B-77 Bernette. Now, if you've been following along, we are working in the satin stitches right now, and we're getting a lot of really great information about what exactly these are going to look like for us. So I'm super happy with what we've been doing so far. Let's start out 110. Now we're on the highest speed setting of our Bernette today. So this is the fastest we can stitch out, pedal on the floor. This one builds from the left-hand side and gives us a really nice straight line on the edge. Now someone asked me recently, do I have the built-in walking foot engaged? For some of these, I do. For today's video, I absolutely have that little attachment engaged. We want to make sure that that gives us a nice even feed. So if you see your stitches developing and they feel like they're pulling, check and make sure that that built-in walking foot is engaged and see if that makes a difference in your stitching. That will help pull through the top layers at the same rate as the bottom layers. Now, once again, I think that's a really nice edging option. And I think this would look really wonderful if you're trying to add a little color to something. Maybe you have a solid color shirt or outfit and you want to just add a little pizzazz to it. I think this would be a really great choice. This is 110. And default, and we're going to say that it starts from the left-hand side. Let's go ahead and move to 111, and 111 is one that looks like it should have like a, do you see that little curve that it looks like it should be appearing in there? So it feels like maybe that feels like a leaf shape, maybe a leaf shape. We're going to come down into our sample sandwich and notice that our needle is starting in the middle of our project. So we're going to be watching that midline as we feed into the machine this time. And that's kind of useful because when something feels like it shifts a little bit to the side, the only way that we keep it straight is by watching where our guideline is on the presser foot, so that our shapes feel like they line up in a nice straight line. Because it can look like it's moving a little bit from side to side when a shape has that curvature in it. It can throw you off a little bit. Looks like we've got about 2 more of these. We're going to go ahead and make that shape, 1 more. And we're going to stop there. Oh, now see, I do like that. That is very nice. And that subtle curvature does make a really nice effect in that piece. Pretty happy with that. So let's mark that as 111. I'm just going to put a D for default. And there's our L, which is wrong. Sometimes I have to be reminded what I'm up to here. That is starting from the midline. I get so used to our decorative stitches starting on the left-hand side. And here we've got 2 in a row starting in the middle. So once again, we're on the midline, and we're going to line up right there, drop our needle down in, and this is stitch 112. Now, in our last video, we looked at stitch 109, and I referred to that as kind of that beaded chain or elongated oval. Now this is a similar stitch to that, except it's much more round. So the shape is meant to be more like a ball. So more in that beaded chain grouping, but looking more like a round bead instead of a kind of an elongated, maybe a freshwater pearl. We come up with all these great ways to talk about our decorative stitches, don't we? Let's do 1 more and see what that one stitched out like. So slightly more round, a little bit more like a fan. I feel like the indicator on this one makes me feel like I'm going to get a pretty round shape, especially if you were to look over at the display here, which is showing me something that looks really round. But I didn't get a very round shape. I got something that's a little bit more stretched out. So this is one of those moments in which I feel like it was really useful for me to stitch that out. That's not quite exactly what I would have expected to get. So I'm going to mark this one 112. Default, starting from the middle. See, I got it right that time. And we're going to keep in mind that we would need to run a couple of stitches if we really wanted to be that round, and make some adjustments in order to get what we were really looking for from that. So come back and see us as we stitch out 113 through 115 in our next video. And until then, I wish you happy stitching.